Hello everyone, welcome to Geeks for Geeks. I am Chaitanya Munje, and in this video we will be building a simple quiz application using Java. So we will be using Netbeans as the IDE for building this project. I have already created a simple quiz application using Java, which we can get to see here. So here is the first question. So for this we will select the answer as a Kotlin, and similarly we can get to see other questions as well. So there are around 10 questions which I have currently added. So I will quickly answer them randomly. This one is the now last question. So our answer score will be around 4. Now let's move towards our Netbeans IDE for creating a new project. So for creating a new project, we simply have to go to File, then New Project. Here we will select Java with Maven and then Java application. After that, we have to simply click on Next, then specify our project name as quiz application. Then we will simply click on Finish to create our new Java project. So here we can get to see our quiz application Java project has been created, and we can get to see different folders, that is source, packages, dependencies and Java dependencies. So firstly we have to go to our source packages, and here we can get to see the package name. After that, here we will be creating a new Java class. So for that we simply have to right click new, and we will create a new Java class. We will specify the name as quiz test, and then simply click on finish to create this Java class. Now for designing part we will be using the JFrame. So firstly we will be extending this with the JFrame. After that we will be also implementing the action listener, which will be used for adding on click action. Now after that, firstly we will be creating our method, that is main method. Inside this we will be calling our other method, so we will be creating that one. Here we have to implement all the methods, so we will simply click on implement all method. After that we will be creating a method, that is quiz test. And inside this, firstly we will be creating a string s, then we will be calling super, and inside this we will be passing our string, and we will be calling this quiz test method inside our main. And inside this we will be passing the text as simple quiz app. Now inside this method we will be creating our UI along with the radio buttons. So firstly we will be creating variable for our radio buttons and JLabel. So for that we will go inside this quiz test class firstly, and here we will be creating a variable for JLabel. So here we will getting the error, so we have to import it. We will simply click on Alt Enter and then import. After creating a JLabel, we have to create another, that is JRadio button, for implementing the radio buttons. This one also we have to import, so we'll import it. After that we will be creating a variable radio buttons. This will be a kind of array, and inside this JRadio buttons, and we will be specifying the width as 5. Now after creating this, we will be creating one more variable for our J button. This one also we have to import, so we will import this J button, and we will be creating two buttons, that is button next and button result. Now after that we will be creating a button group. And we will be name as BG. This one also we have to import. So we will click on Alt Enter and then simply import. Now after that we will be creating a variable for our count. That will be integer. We will be initialize with 0. Then our current for checking the status of the question which is currently visible to user. Then X and similarly Y. And we will be also creating a now variable. Now after that we will be creating one more integer array, that is M, and inside this we will be passing the size as tens, which will be our number of questions. Now inside this superclass, firstly we will be initializing our label as new JLabel. Then we will simply call add method to add our component, that is our label. After adding the label, we will be initializing our button group as BG. Now after that we will be running a for loop. And inside this we will be simply initializing our radio buttons, that is radio buttons of I, new radio button. After that we will be calling the add method to add this component as a radio button. We will be passing index as radio buttons of I. Then we will be simply adding this to our BG, that is our button group, and we will be adding radio buttons of I. After that we will be also initially setting text to our next button as well as result button. So for that we will be simply calling button next equal to new J button, and inside this we will be initializing the text for our next button as next. Similarly we will be calling button result equal to new J button, and here we will be initializing text as result. Then we will be simply setting visibility to our result button as false, because we don't want to display it initially, so we will be setting its visibility, set visible. We will be initializing it as a false. Now after that we will be adding action listener for our next button as well as result button. Result dot add action listener, and inside this we will be passing this as a context. Similarly for button next dot add action listener. Now we will be adding this button to our view, that is add button next. Similarly we will be calling add button result. So we have added these two buttons. Now after that we have to set the data to our views. So for that we will be creating a separate method which is set data. So we will be creating a void for that, that is void set data, and we will be calling this method here. So inside the set method we will be specifying the data such as the questions and answers along with the correct options. So after creating this method we will be calling this method here for setting the data. Now after that we will be setting the bounds to our label. So we will be called simply label dot set bounds, and inside this we will be setting the bounds currently as 30, 40. Now after that similarly we will be add bounds to our radio buttons as well, that is radio button. So we are setting the bounds with the help of index. So for first radio button we will be calling radio button of 0 dot set bound, and inside this we will be setting bound as first button as 50, then 80. Similarly for our next radio button, that is radio buttons of 1 dot set bounds, Then for third button we will be setting it as a 50, 170. After that we will be setting bound to our next button, that is button next dot set bounds, and for next button we will be setting it as 100, 240. Then similarly for our result button, set bounds, then we will be simply calling set default close operation gframe dot exit on close. Then we will be calling set layout method as and passing it as a null. After that we will be specifying the location by using the set location, and inside this we will be passing it as a 250, 100, that is x and y. Then we will be setting the visibility as true. After that we will be setting the size. Inside this we will be specifying the width and height. So first width will be around 600 and height will be around 350. Now we have completed the coding part for our this method, that is for our quiz test method, and we have called this quiz test method here inside our main method. Here we have to specify it as a new quiz test. Now after that we have created method for setting the data, so we will be setting the data in that particular method. So for that, firstly we will go to set data, and inside this we will be simply calling radio buttons, and inside this we will be passing 4 index, and we will be adding set selected, and here we will be setting it as a selected as true. Now inside this radio button we will be firstly checking if current. So we are setting the data on the basis of the current. So when current is equal to 0, we will be specifying the label dot set text, and inside this we will be adding our question 1. So this will be our question 1. We will be setting label, then we will add radio buttons, then 0, and we will be setting text. So this one will be our option 1. So our first option will be of Java, and we will be specifying the first question. First question will be which is official language for Android development. So the first option is Java. Then we will be simply calling the radio buttons, then for first button, and inside that we will be calling set text, and inside this we will be setting the text as Kotlin. So our second option is the correct one, radio buttons dot to set text, then our text will be C++. Third option is we are adding it as a C++, and last we will be adding our fourth option dot set text, and inside this we will be specifying the text as JavaScript. So these are the 4 options for our first question. Similarly we will be adding the multiple ones, so we will simply copy this one, and only the difference will that we will be simply changing our current. So here current is 0, then here it will be 1. We will be also changing the question as well, else all the format will be similar. So this is for current equal to 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So currently we are adding the 10 questions. So as it is a 0 based indexing, so we will be adding up to 9. So first one is 0, then 1, then we will be changing the current as 2, then here 3, then 4, here we are changing it to 5. We will change the question as well as options. So after doing this, we will be simply setting the bounds to our label dot set bounds, and inside this we will be setting the bounds as 30, 40, then 450 and 20. Now after setting bounds we will be simply running a for loop. Now inside this loop we will be simply calling radio buttons and passing index as j, and then we will be setting the bounds. Now we have completed this method, only now we have to change the questions. I am already having the list of questions with me, so I will quickly copy paste this question. So first question is, what is the size of boolean? I will copy this question and here I will change it. So we will copy all the options and paste it one by one. So the first option is for 8-bit, then second option is for 16-bit, which is our answer, then for 32-bit, and last option is not known. So we will remove this. So 16-bit is our answer. So we will be also creating a separate method which will be used to check whether the answer selected by user is corrected or not. So for that we will be creating a method, boolean method, to check answer, and inside this we will be checking with the help of current. If current equal to 0, then our that is correct option. Then for current equal to 0, then correct option is for 16-bit, as we can get to see in the list of questions. The correct option is for the 16-bit, which is the answer. So the index for 16-bit is 1. So we will, in the boolean, we will simply check if return radio buttons of index 1 dot is selected. So this will return if the radio button 1, which consists of the option name as our 16-bit, is selected, then only it will return true, else it will return as a false. So we will also add the else condition here. Instead of else, we will simply add the return as a false. Similarly, we will be add this case for the different value of current. So this one is for 0. When current is 0, then we will have the correct option at 1 radio button. Then for next one, so this will be for 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So we will quickly change the current index. So here it is 1, then 2, 3, so these are the different indexes from 0 to 9. Then we will simply change the radio, but here the ID. So firstly we will change all the questions one by one. So first question we have added, then we will move towards our next question. So I will quickly copy this and add it as a comment. So this one is our question. Then our answer is, first option is for 0, then 0.0, then 0L. So this is our answer as a 0L, whose index is 2. So for current equal to 2, we will change the index as 2. So this is our question number 2. We will remove this after adding it. Then we will move towards our next question, which is question 3. So we will quickly copy this. So we have to follow the similar procedure. Here we will add the options. So in this case, false is the correct answer, and index for false is 1. So for current equal to 2, we will change the index as 1 in the check. Current equal to 2, we have added index as 1. Then we will move towards our next, that is current equal to 3. So here we will remove this. So we will move towards our next question, that is question number 4. So this is the first option. Then this one is the next option. So index for correct option is 1, which is already added because we have selected index as a 1 default. We will quickly remove this. For current 3, the correct answer is at a 1 index. So we will check it. For current 3, index is 1. Then we will move towards the next index, that is current 4, and our question number 5. So we will copy the question number 5 and paste it here. And inside this, the first option is our answer. So we will copy this. The index is for current equal to 4. The correct option index is 0. So for current equal to 4, we will change the index as 0. Then we will change the options as well. Then we will add the another option. So we have added our 5th question as well. So we will remove this. Then go to next question. These are the different options. So index 1 is our, at index 1 we will get our answer. Index 1 is already being set. So we will keep it as it is. Then we will move towards our next question, that is our 7th one. Here we will change our question. After that we will be adding options as well. So correct option is at index 1, which is already being set, so will not change. Then we will move towards our the next question, which is our 8th question. So here also correct option is as a 16-bit, which is at index 1, so we will keep it as it is. So we will change this one. And the next question is, so this is already being added. So here the correct option is at index 1 and it is kept at index 1. Then the last question is our what we can learn at Geeks for Geeks. So we will add this question here. We will also check the answers once again to confirm whether we have added it correctly or not. So the first option is C++, that is Android development. For this question, the correct option is all of the above, which is at index number 3. So we will change the index here to 3. So for 8th question, that is current equal to 8, correct option is at index 1. So we are set it as index 1. So we have currently set index, as well as we have also created a method to check. Now after that, we have to initialize our action perform button. That is, we have to add on click listener for our different buttons inside our action perform method. Now we will go to our action perform method, that is this one, and inside this we will correctly remove this one, and here we will add on click listener for our next button as well as result button. So here we will check if action event, that is e.getSource, is equal to button next. So we are checking whether it is a button next. In case of button next, we will be simply checking our answer by calling the check answer method, and then we will be incrementing the count plus 1. Similarly, we are incrementing the current. After that, we are calling the set method to set our data once again by changing the current. Then we are checking if current is equal to 9. So in this case, we are making the next button as enabled, set enabled as false. So we are making this next button as disabled. Then we will simply call our result button, and we are setting its visibility as true to make it visible. We will also setting the result button text to result. Now after that, we will be checking for our result button. So for that, we will be calling if e.get action command dot equals the result. So in this case, we will be calling also check answer method. Then also we are incrementing our count. Then we are incrementing our current. After that, we are calling the J option pane, and then we are simply calling a show message dialog, and inside this we will be displaying our message. So firstly, we have to pass the context as this, then we have to specify the message. So correct answers are, and then we will be specifying the count of the correct answers. After that, we will be simply calling system.exit to exit from our application, and inside this we will be specifying the index as 0. Now we have completed the coding part. Now we have to simply run our application to see the output of our application. So we will quickly save our application, then build it. Now we will simply run this file, or we can run this from this option as well. So here we can get to see our quiz application has been built. So we are currently answering it as a randomly. So here we can get to see the correct answers are 7. So this is how we have built our quiz application using the Java. So if you guys are having any doubt regarding whatever I have explained in this video, do ask in the comment section. For complete code, refer the articles in the description below. So do like the video, subscribe to this channel, and thanks for watching.